Good morning, everyone. Lori Marie here, mixed media artist in Vallejo, California. Lots happening, yet not lots happening. I haven't been on the table for a little while, so thank you for your patience. I've been working on some online classes, which has been very, very fun. I'll tell you about that in a minute. I do want to do a shout out for some coffee from Elizabeth and Dorothy and Alex. And Judith and Julianne sent extra money to cover the shipping to overseas. Denise sent some money to cover the extra shipping overseas. And Rosanna bought a purge book. So thank you so much for all of your support around that. I did mention I'm doing some online classes. They're unsupervised. I have, let me show you. I have the Shrine class. I have the I Am Spirit doll online, and I also have introduced the fabric book. So this is a book we've been playing with in class. Fun binding, old book cover, fabric pages. These are old drop cloths off my floor. And in the first class, there are, I don't know, three focal points, 3 pages that are completed. I did play a little bit in the fabric book today. That will be another signature in the fabric book. So 3 classes, 3 unsupervised classes. The Shrine, the I Am Spirit doll, and the fabric book, teaching you how to do the pages, the binding, and 3 completed pages, single pages. So very, very fun. Those are available on my website, so you can go there and check those out. Phyllis is working on the last one, the fabric book, so that might not be up on the website for a couple of days, but you get the idea. So today, played a little bit in the fabric book with some little teeny tiny playing cards. Sewed some things on those like a week ago or whatever, and tied them onto the page today. So it felt good to be back on the table and playing. All right, I think that is all. The sun is up. My coffee's in the other room, which is most disturbing. So I'm going to grab that and see you on the table. Oh, a quick little something else. I'm in my second 200 books, sending those out with dedication cards, signed books with dedication cards. After I'm done with this 200, I'm going to leave all the sales up to Amazon. So if you would like a signed book from me and a dedication card, then go to my website and order a book. Like I say, we're in our second 200 batch of books. So most exciting. Thank you for all of your support. I do have a video where I do the reading, which is lovely. Gives me chills every time I read the book. So lots of people have ordered, obviously, and I thank you for all of the support. Okay, now see you on the table. Okay, here's the project that we're working on today. It is in my fabric book. The fabric book, I do have an unsupervised class online on how to make the fabric book with a few of the pages and the binding. This is the final signature that's going to go in the book with all of these fun dingles and dangles. So this is our project, little cards, clusters on the cards. This page was already done, so this page kind of is its partner in the book. I brought out the gelatos, stays on, the clusters. I hand-tied those on, a little bit of coffee-stained lace, a couple of buttons. Good morning, dark o'clock. Here in Vallejo, California, coffee in hand, playing in my fabric book. I have not played with the gelatos in a while, so I'm going to bring my box of gelatos into the play area this morning. this is the page that I'm matching. I had I had 6 of these. I dropped one on the floor. Now I have 5, and I cannot find that 6th one. So maybe it'll show up by the time we're ready for it. If not, we will improvise with something else. Oh, let's see. Kind of going with earth tones here. I'll play with some earth tones of the gelatos. Smudge those around a little bit. I watched an old video. Actually, I'm playing with a group and we're watching an old video, the Celerity Project. And I'm quite talkative and I show every detail. And I need to check in with you, with the village, to see how often do you want to see paint dry, kind of a thing. Because I go forward quite a bit and edit the videos a lot so that there's not a lot of downtime. And I guess I need to hear from you what works best in your world. Watching paint dry more often, or watching me actually do things a little bit longer, or do you like it when I edit it and move forward and just show you the results of what I'm doing? So if you could check in about that, I would really appreciate it. All right, there's a nice dark brown. Dark brown. And we'll bring in another color. This looks like mango. I'm making that up. I'm not sure, but it's an orange. Just a touch of some green. Bringing in my mustard stays on. My black stays on pad is, my ink pad is kind of dry, so I'm going to bring in the refill. It's a solvent ink refill by Stays On, and I can re-ink my pad. It's nice and juicy again. Kind of handy. Bring in my polka dots. Rubber stamp. Good. Bring in my tacky spray. A little bit of that around. This is well-loved transfer foil, so a lot of it has been used, which I love that because then it's not real thick. Sunny side up. Put the foil down on the page. Great. Get a little bit of bling there. Perfect. Bring in my white gesso. Let that dry. Bring in a black Posca pen. Make some markings on those fun gessos. Bring in this vintagey looking napkin. Let a little bit of Mod Podge on my fingers, get that sticky. Pull those layers apart. Like magic. Then I'm going to glue a little bit of that here and there with Mod Podge. Let that dry. I have tea dye distress ink. I'm going to grunge these up a little bit more. I have made these beforehand. They're playing cards with underpants and images and a little bit of fabric or ribbon on there. Old stamps, lace. S&H grain stamp, who knows where that came from, but it's delicious. Tea bag. Bringing in a pretty sturdy thread and the needle with a fairly large eye hole. I'm going to feed that through, and then I instantly have 4 threads there, which makes my sewing easier. I don't have to loop around as many times. Bring in my awl, poke a hole through the fabric and above. Then I can sew the card on. All right, everybody else out of the pool. Tie that on there. Do the same with the next hole. So I will continue tying the cards on. Each card has 4 holes in it, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. I don't know that I'm going to use all of the holes. We shall see. This little gal I tied on there. This one I tied on here. These holes are not really visible, so I may not create knots there. We'll see what the piece has to say as we move forward. You can see all 4 holes on this one. Okay. 1 hole here. I can probably find another hole here. We'll go ahead and tie that down in 2 places. All poke a hole, tie it on, poke a hole, tie it on. Now this guy has 2 holes visible at the bottom. I think we will utilize those. I have 4 sewn on. Bottom, top, side, top. This guy's all 4 holes are exposed, so I will tie this one in place with 4 holes. Poke a hole, tie it on. This is the final knot on our last card. And I think the piece is screaming for a button or a little something something. Alright, let's see what we can find. In my button jar here are 2 little buttons that are still sewn together, which is yummy. Looks like that was a cufflink. Anyway, I'm going to sew one of those down and let the other one flop loose. I still need to poke a hole with my awl because this canvas is pretty darn tough. Bring in my 4-strand down through the top. Through the bottom. And we'll tie that button on, leaving those strings hanging. This is a piece of coffee dried lace that was laying on my desk. And we will go ahead and tie that down. Something pretty thick behind it. Tie that into place. Oh yeah, that's good. Bring in my Stabilo, go around the edges a little bit, not too much edges showing. Orange up the edges a little bit. And that page is done. And that's how it will look in the book. This is the partner page. This is the page on the back side. You can see some of the stitches. Here's a stitch from a card. Here's a little stitch from a card. Little stitch from a card. So they're tiny and they blend right in with the other collage that's on this particular page of the fabric book. Ah! Just beautiful. And there it is, all finished. So fun. All right, your turn. Go create, go play, go have fun.